I'm going to give you the warning. All right? I know you like coming on, and we're talking to Chuck Liddell. He's sitting down with us. I'll take it as a compliment that you get really relaxed when you talk to me, but we've had issues with cursing in the past.
I will try my best.
We're not. It's not Pharrell's show. We're not on Sirius because you set the record. You were on with Matt Hughes, and you fired off like 27.
Well, I that was pretty bad. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It was funny, but I don't want to get in trouble.
But me and Matt, get around Matt. We get around. We always do that. We talk to trash a lot and goof off, and I tend to get real relaxed and start cussing.
So explain what happened on the TV spot last night, because you guys both look like you had no idea what was coming. You couldn't hear anything.
We could barely hear what was going on. I heard more ring noise than anything. I mean, I heard more of the crowd than anything than the questions, and then it was hard. It was really hard to follow what was going on and or when we were supposed to be on and when we weren't. And it was just an odd set. It was an odd remote. I couldn't really tell what was going on.
What'd you do today in terms of media? I heard you were on SportsCenter.
Did SportsCenter? Did it was the hot? I don't know, the hot seat, hot list, something. Yeah. Did something on another show on ESPN. Did the press conference for today.
How do you like doing the national stuff?
It's fun. I had a good time. They're interesting. I asked a lot of strange questions today. I don't know. I don't know what the name of the show. I think it was the hot. Is it the hot seat? Is that the one that has random questions?
Yeah, like Budweiser hot seat, something like that.
Yeah.
So what they asked, it was random.
No, they just asked it. Well, they're asking about it, if I bought 50 or Kanye West CD, if I did the Superman dance, a couple other things, stuff about my normal questions. Asked me about partying and going out and. Asked me where our after party was, and all right, I'm sure.
So which one did you buy? You probably know both of those guys.
No, I don't know either one.
Really?
But I didn't buy either one yet. But I said I picked 50. I guess if I was going to pick one, I picked 50 just because I tend to like his music more. But
better grab it. I guess he's going to retire. Maybe.
What?
Yeah, that was the bet. He was going to retire if he got beat by Kanye the first week in sales.
Oh, and did he get beat?
He got beat. Yeah, but he's not going to retire. I mean, it was a nice ploy. I don't think that's going to work on us.
Yeah, honestly, when I heard it in the beginning, I figured it was both of them trying to pitch a CD.
Sounds like Vince McMahon, basically.
Well, I mean, didn't they both do like records with Justin Timberlake too?
I think so.
I mean, so it's like
I'll be honest, I don't keep track of them.
I know, but if I was in a gangster feud with some guy, I mean, if I'm mad at someone, I wouldn't go hang out with one of his buddies.
Yeah,
That's a good point. do work. Go do some fights with his buddy. I don't know.
So how much media stuff have you had to do? And because I ask you guys this all the time, it's increased over the years. When we started talking to you like 4 years ago, you'd have some demand, but now it's gotten pretty crazy the last couple of days before a fight.
Well, actually, it got big, a lot busier, and then it's slowed down now. It's more big things now, but it's bigger shows, but not as much. I mean, they kind of cut down what we have to do. I mean, I have nothing on Fridays anymore.
That's good.
I'm doing I was by choice. I'm doing one on Saturday.
Really?
Someone's doing a remote on Saturday, and I said I do it just because they always do our stuff.
Nice job.
So I'll stop by and I'm gonna stop. It's in the hotel, and I'll stop by and say hi for a second.
That's what is that? Pharrell?
Pharrell, yeah.
So you're doing Pharrell. We like Pharrell.
Pharrell has always covered us and gives us good coverage, and he asked me to be on there. Of course, I'll go. I said that's no problem. Most people I won't do stuff on. But we're not asked to do anything Friday or Saturday anymore, so that's nice.
That's Chuck Liddell. He's joining us here on Fox Sports Radio 1460. It's Steve Cofield down here in Anaheim. We're here for the next 2 days, actually doing post-fight on Saturday night as well, and Chuck's got his big fight, his comeback fight of sorts coming up against Keith Jardine. Before we get to the fight, I wanted to ask about the last, 2 months or so around the Jackson loss and since. First of all, what did you do after the fight? What do you generally do? Because I immediately saw pictures a couple days later. There's a spy on Vegas. Did you go to your after party?
I went to my after party. Hey, you know what? I still go do that stuff. All the guys, my friends will probably take it as hard as I do losing. Yeah. So, I went out and hung out with them and did my thing, and then went home and looked at the tapes, watched, see what I needed to work on, and went back to training.
In the arena, you get knocked out. When do you come to your senses? How quickly?
Well, in this fight, I knew what was going on. I knew what happened. You saw the interview right after. I knew exactly what had happened. I made a mistake. I knew exactly what happened.
Yeah.
John wouldn't have let me do my interview if he didn't think I was at my senses. He asked me a couple questions to make sure I knew where I was.
Yeah.
Because John always complains when their corners let guys do interviews when they have no idea where they're at.
Right. Did you? Well, the reason I asked,
I was fine.
The reason I asked because I wasn't commenting on if you sounded all right or not. I wanted to see if you got a sense of what the arena was like. Did you tell?
I don't really pay attention to that. I mean, at that point, I'm too focused in how I feel. And
I'm telling you, after the fight, I've never seen a fight crowd react the way they did to you losing. It was like someone died. It really was amazing. I mean, I guess it's the fan following, and they feel like you're their buddy. In a way, Quinton was kind of like, man, there's no one's cheering, nothing. I just stunned everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it's a compliment to you. I mean, that's a real fan connection. If the crowd basically wants to shoot themselves in the head because a guy lost a fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try not to lose any more for him. So we'll be there.
There you go. So you went home and you watched on tape.
Yeah, and I agreed with my first assessment, and I led with a body shot, got caught with a right hook. My trainer's been telling me not to do that for a long time, that I'm going to get caught with it, and it's a habit that I think I've broken now. But it's something I was getting away with it for so long. I kind of just didn't change it.
Let me get your comment on a couple things UFC wise before we get out of here. You're at the press conference today, and it seemed like you got worked up a little bit when we started talking about Bisping, Hamill, and scoring. And you haven't really gone to decisions very often, but there was.
It's not worked up. It's
rage over that fight.
Everybody makes such a big deal about it. Now, I haven't seen the fight. That's the problem. That's one of the problems. I can't really argue about it too much.
No.
When you start talking about judging fights, I mean, it is not easy to judge a UFC fight, and it's not easy for you to agree with someone else who's judging a fight because there's so many different elements to a fight. And what I mean, if you want to do you count attempted submissions? Well, what do you consider an attempted submission? A guy throwing his legs up and pretending to go for a triangle,
right? Or
does he have to actually almost get it? If I go, if I put you in, if I put my arm on your hand and have like sort of a key lock, is that an attempted submission, or do I have to actually get close to getting it?
Right.
What makes it? I mean, because if I feint a jab, do I get points for that?
Sometimes I think you do. I don't know. There's no exact. It's the same as boxing. There's no exact science.
There's no exact, and more so than boxing. There's so many more techniques, and there's so many you have to put together. Like wrestling, how much do you count a takedown? How much do you count if it's a big slam? Is it more?
Do escapes count in MMA?
Do escapes count? How much? So and everybody's and it's not that bad, but everybody's got their different view. Like a different guy's you can look at. There's more chance if you watching an MMA fight than in a boxing fight for you, me, and him to disagree about what actually went down.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it comes down to don't leave. But I've seen guys in the corner where their corner's telling them they've won the first 2 rounds. They go out there and coast through the 3rd round, and I'm looking at their corner going, they're 1-1 at best.
Yeah.
You better tell him to win this round. He can't just cruise and if he loses this round, he's going to lose the fight, and they lose the fight.
As a fighter, would you like the score posted? They've talked about that in boxing, or would that affect the judge's thoughts then, and then the crowd starts, affecting the judge's vision of what the fight is?
Well, it works either way, but it'd be nice to know. I mean, if you're going into but then you look at it both ways. If you've got the fight now, one guy knows he's got the fight won, and one guy knows he's losing. So now it might change the way they fight. I don't know. I think for the most part the judges do a good job. It's just don't let it go to the judges. Do your best not to let it go to the judges, and when you do, for the most part, I mean, for the most fights I've seen, even the ones people complain about and there's controversy over, were close enough fights where I've had ones where I thought the other guy should have won. But I haven't really had one where I went, that guy had to have won. That's bullshit.
Never.
Oh, see, I got at least one in.
Almost.
I only got one in.
I've had it. I think I've only seen one MMA, and it was actually in Pride. I thought, and it's a strange guy to bring up, but I thought Nogueira fought Rico Rodriguez, and I thought Rodriguez clearly beat him, and I thought Rodriguez got jobbed by the Japanese.
That's another one where they said, that's where I thought were one of those ones they said, he had a bunch of attempted submissions. So he threw his legs up like he was going for a triangle a bunch of times. Did he get close to one? Never. I mean, it's not like...
And that's literally...
You have to really fight out of it. If you have to really fight out of it, almost had to really fight out of it, okay, that's an attempted submission.
Do you get to talk to judges, say non-fight time? You don't want to be fraternizing with the judges, but do you talk to them? You ever talk to a judge and go, this person doesn't know crap about the sport? You ever come off and get a bad impression?
I really haven't had any big discussions with judges.
Okay.
So, I mean, but I think as they go, I think they're doing their best. I mean, the commissions are doing their best to educate guys and trying to get them to understand, but it's going to take a while as a sport. I think they'll get better as the sport goes.
We're talking to Chuck Liddell. We're down here in Anaheim. You beat Randy Couture twice. He comes back at heavyweight. Here's my argument the last couple of weeks after watching him, against these legit heavyweights. You showed how to beat him. My argument is that the guys he's fighting, they're bigger, but the way you beat Randy is to stay away from him, not get in the clinch, and maybe there's not going to be anyone athletic enough with the footwork to do what you did at 240 or 250 pounds. Well, it seems to me he neutralizes anyone even bigger than him if you're going to sit there and go up against the cage with him.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna sit there and, for me, the key is to keep the distance from him and get an angle and catch him. I mean, I tend to hit real hard, so that helps. But I do catch him. Every time I've really hurt him, I caught him from a good angle, moving off when he's trying to come at me. I mean, I think my first knockout of Randy was I caught him with the left hook, and he was hurt a little bit, and he did exactly what he does to Gonzaga, is that he came rushing at me to try to tie me up, and I was able to pivot off and hit him with that right hand, and I think that's the thing that, that movement is what helped me with him.
So am I wrong on the heavyweights? Is there a guy out there who, and especially the strategy, who's going to outsmart him and move enough, not mix it up with him?
Well, Randy does a good job of changing and adapting, and you never know. We'll see who's going to come up. I mean, there's some fast guys up there. Yeah. There's some big, agile heavyweights.
Who do you like? If it's not Fedor coming in at some point,
I hope Fedor comes out. I want to see that one. I want to see I'd love to see him fight.
Love to see it,
but. I'm not sure that's not too far off. I mean, unless Fedor just doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, well, they've been talking for a while, so you assume it's just little details.
Yeah, unless Fedor's just trying to dodge a fight. I don't know. Because, there's nobody that's paying more. So
no. Hell, you talked about wanting to fight him. When you were right in the middle of your run.
Yeah.
That would be kind of a mega fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it either.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy too. For people who haven't seen him, Fedor is a Russian, and he carries a little extra weight. It's not like he's he's a weird build. Weird build. So,
yeah.
All right, Chuck. Well, I'm not going to ask you about the future because you got to get by this fight. And, there's fights out there maybe with Hua and Jackson, but you got to get by this one, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right, Chuck. We appreciate it.
Hua's got to get past Forrest too.
That's a good point. Which is not actually break that down for me for a second, because I was saying to someone yesterday, I like him and I like the energy he fights with Hua, and I think he's multi-skilled, but I see bad patterns sometimes with the stand-up with some of the Brazilians. They're a little reckless, and again, the hands down and the head out there.
Yeah, and Forrest is a tough guy. I mean, he can take a fight to a guy. So, I think his size is he's a little bit bigger than Hua too.
Boy, wouldn't that be interesting if another Pride guy kind of flopped?
Yep.
What do you think happened with Crow Cop?
He lost the kickboxing match, last one.
I
haven't seen it yet. Actually, I haven't seen that one yet either. He got caught with a kick to the head. I mean, and Randy almost got caught with that kick too.
Yeah.
Gonzaga was throwing those kicks good.
Yeah.
He throws a good combo especially when you're not expecting it from a guy, jiu-jitsu guy. So, he got caught. That happens. But the second one, they put him out there with the guy who's a kickboxer, and he looked like, from what I hear, he just lost.
Yeah, I think he got hurt too. He broke a rib early on. All right, there you go, Chuck Liddell. Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back. We're in Anaheim, UFC 76. The former 205 champ, nice enough to join us for about 20 minutes. We're coming back, Mr. Sunshine, on a Thursday.